Hey everyone, it's Hannah and welcome to another Crafty Chat podcast. The knitting slash, no, it's only knitting today, no crochet today, I'm sorry. The knitting slash crochet usually podcast in which I talk about various projects that I've been working on and the like. Just want to quickly apologise for the change of scenery and potential noise. So I usually film this in my craft room, which is a real nice space, and I've got my yarn behind me and it's all nice, but my neighbours have decided to be selfish today. So not only did they wake me up at 1:15 by being noisy, but now they are still being noisy by blaring out rap music and randomly shouting and laughing at random times, which usually I tolerate, but I'm trying to film a podcast and yeah. So I'm trying to film it in the spare room, which is the other side of the house, so hopefully you can't hear them, and my other side neighbours are a bit more considerate, but it does mean the main road is just, basically we live in an incredibly noisy house, and yeah, kind of annoyed today, purely because of the noise. But I hope you all have your tea. Mine's in a Star Wars mug. This is a fun mug. When you pour the water in, the lightsabers appear. I have a vanilla chai today. It's delightful. Just Tesco's. Tesco's own brand vanilla chai. It's very nice. With a bit of milk, because why not? So hi everyone, sorry. Let's get off on a bit more of a positive note. Hey everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time viewing the podcast, thanks so much for stopping by. Usually I'm a bit more perky and less annoyed, but I'm hoping the podcast filming will nudge my mood in the right direction. It usually does. Yeah, my name is Hannah. I'm coming at you today from a cloudy but clear and, well, not clear, a cloudy but sunny Nottingham in the UK, England to be precise. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, like I've said, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. It means a lot to me. Bit weird filming in a different place, so not quite sure how to act, but that's okay. I've got a fair few FOs and a fair few whips that you haven't seen, as well as a cheeky stash enhancement, which you have already seen some of if you have watched my Nottingham Yarn Expo vlog, and thank you so much to those of you who have. So if you'd like to follow me on social media, let's not forget the important parts. I have notes, I should just check the notes. If you'd like to follow me on social media, feel free, you can do, that's not a problem at all. Just moving things so you don't get spoiled before the end of the episode. What was I going to say? Yes, I'm most active usually on Instagram. I'm on it multiple times a day, as I'm sure a lot of you are. I'm also on Ravelry a relative amount. I'm just getting really bad at, I'm just going to pop my mug down there because then I don't have to worry about knocking it over. I'm not very good at keeping on top of my project pages, but that's my fault. Need to try and improve on that. And we also have a Ravelry group, so feel free to check that out. In there I write extensive podcast notes, so I tell you all about what yarns and whatnot I have used in those notes. So feel free to check that out if you're so inclined. Links of relativity will be found, relevance, that's the word I want. Relevant links will be found in the description box below. But before we jump right in, let's just get into what I'm wearing. I unfortunately can't tell you what jumper I'm wearing because my mum made me this jumper, years ago. It was before I went to university, so it must have been when I was in 6th form maybe. So what's that, 10 years ago maybe? 9-10 years ago. But it's fun, it's got these swirly pockets. Ooh, put my vest down underneath. It's got swirly whirly pockets, and it's just a huge oversized jumper, which I love, which I believe is made out of some kind of acrylic yarn, but I like it because it's all nice and snuggly. It's my stay-at-home jumper. I don't wear it out unless I'm just popping to the shop, just because it's so big. It's not the most flattering, but it is very comfy, perfect for days like today. And then my little shawl is the Bechlein Shawl by Becky Sorensen, made in various yarns by Truly Hooked. And yeah, I really like this scarf. I haven't worn it much, this shawl I suppose I should say. I haven't worn it that much this year, which is a shame because I lived in it last year, but I might need to crack it back out again. Quite like the size of it being a little bit smaller for just general day to day. It's meant to be a gigantic shawl, but kind of forgot at the time that Becky knits a lot tighter than I do. No, other way around. I knit a lot tighter than her, so I should have used larger needles and then didn't. But I also do just quite like this size, so. Cool, let's get into some things that I finished then, shall we? Well, the first things I will show you, because I almost had them done last time, are my Selby Mittens. Yeah, I know everyone is knitting these. Everyone is knitting these. And I know exactly why. Because they're really fun and really satisfying to knit. So, this mitten was the first ever colourwork I'd ever done. It is significantly tighter than this mitten. I used 4.5mm needles, which is ridiculous, and just shows you how tightly I was knitting. The yarn is just a commercial yarn by not a language I can speak, sorry, but yeah, it is, I want to say 50% wool, 50% bamboo. They're very soft, they're pretty warm. I've worn them out already. I would have had them as a gift knit had they been the same size, but they're not, so, but I blocked them, not on anything, I just soaked them and then laid them out. I don't have mitten blockers. And then the thermies. And then since then, not only have I finished that pair, but I've also cast on and finished this pair. So that's exciting. Now these are a gift. I'm not going to say for who, because then that ruins everything, but they are a gift. And these ones I used 4mm needle and they fit perfectly, so. The yarn is by a little bit sheepish. It is their I'd sort out a little bit there, just noticed. My ends are sticking through from where I sewed them in. Obviously didn't do a very good job. A little bit sheepish. I bought this at the Bakewell Wool Gathering. I can't remember what the colours are called. I will look them up and let you know. But it's this fantastic dark grey with this lovely dark purple, and it's Superwash BFL, and I have also blocked these in the same manner that I blocked those, so I haven't blocked them on anything. I just soaked them in water and then laid them out to dry, and it seems to have done a pretty good job of evening out my stitches, which I hadn't noticed until just now, so that is very nice. I'm not very good at having long floats. So I know I have been doing some, you know, float management, if you will, over long stretches of stitches. I don't like to go more than 5 or 6 stitches before I catch a float. And I can see where I've been doing it, because then my stitches just look uneven and it's a little annoying. But I'm sure with practice I will get there. And now I have fluff up my nose. I knew if I started with those green mittens I'd get fluff up my nose. But this is a pattern that I forgot to say. This is a pattern by the fantastic Ellie of Scandia and the Scandia Knits podcast. And I'm sure you're all sick of seeing Selby mittens because everyone is knitting them, but they're such addictive mittens to knit. This used, I still have about the same amount, I still have about half the ball left, both of the colours for these, because this was a 100-gram ball. And my other ones, yeah, were 50 grams. But I'm going to make some more of these, but with the purple as the background and then the grey as the contrast. But one of her other patterns from her Selby Mitten Club, which has one more instalment to go, I believe, on December the 1st. So that's very exciting. That will be coming through my, or that will be coming through my Rav mail. No, that was terrible. No, stop. But yeah, that will be coming, swimming my way, winging its way. That will be winging its way to me. Oh my goodness. So thrown off, I haven't spoken that much yet this morning. It'll be winging its way to me shortly. But yeah, love these, much recommend them to people who are new to colourwork because they're DK weight, so they knit up so quickly. I like colourwork for the fact that it is quite addictive to knit, because you just keep knitting them, and all of a sudden you've completed like this much and you didn't even know how. But I have one more finished thing. It's not actually living in that bag. It was downstairs because I finished them during Dungeons and Dragons when I was playing the other day. But I finally finished my Halloween socks, which is a little bit late, I know. So this yarn is Cat's Kettle yarn in her Ghoul Party colourway that I won from what's the trans story? No, Candice of the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast. It's really sad when you start to refer to people as their Instagram usernames. Candice of the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast. I won this in one of her giveaways that she did, which is amazing because I don't usually win giveaways, so that was real nice. And I kept it. I got it in about maybe February or March, and I kept it so I could have a pair of Halloween socks for Halloween. I was just like, yeah, I'll knit them nearer the time. But then I cast them on too late and didn't get them finished. So I have a pair of Halloween socks for next year, and I will probably just wear them in between anyway because I'm not proud. But they are this beautiful, ooh, let's get this to focus now. There we go. Beautiful bright green, minty green colour with orange and purple and kind of black grey speckles. I did a new depths heel, which is once again a pattern by Becky Sorensen, and I keep talking about Becky's patterns and I forgot to say the key thing. Becky at the moment is having a huge sale, bless her. If you could pop on to her Instagram page, which is Soprano Knits, you can find the coupon code to get 40% off any of her patterns. So you can get 40% off this pattern, which is a huge discount, and it's a really fun pattern to knit. Good for scraps and not scraps as well. And you can make it larger if you just use a larger needle. But yes, the new depth heel. I cast on using German twisted cast on, which is my favourite cast on for all things stretchy. My mittens also had German twisted cast on. Twisted cast on is what my mouth wants to say. 2x2 rib, knit the 60 stitches, 2.5mm needle. I did magic loop. I only increased by 8 stitches to do the heel because I found that that is what fits me best. And yeah, loving these socks. Oh, I did I don't know what kind of toe this is. A standard double decreased toe, I think that's what it's called. I've heard some people call a toe of a similar shape a wedge toe. I don't know. I just followed a sock pattern, and then this is the sock pattern I now always do, but I've switched out the heel for something more enjoyable than a heel flapping gusset. Not much to say, just plain vanilla socks, really. Fun, enjoyed knitting them. These were my commuter knit, because so I get the tram into town when I'm working. So I knit on the tram and really enjoy it. So yeah, finally got these done. Tick. Cool, so now we can get on to whips, because that was a lot. That was a lot. Well, while we're on the colourwork train, I suppose I could say while we're on the sock train as well, that also works, but we'll go with while we're on the colourwork train. I am gift knitting a pair of mittens. If you find swear words offensive, I apologise. There is a swear word on this mitten. It does begin with an F, so skip ahead. I will only show it briefly. I will put a timestamp as to when I stop showing it, and then I will just show the back and talk about the mitten and the pattern as a whole. But I've been knitting the How Cold Is It mitten for one of my friends for Christmas, and she doesn't know she's getting it, and I'm very excited. So I'm showing it. Okay, good. This is what it says. Yep, Yep. Yep. And then this is the back. Oh, just holding my thumb on some waste yarn. So really enjoying this pattern. This is the How Cold Is It Mitten by Drunk Girl Designs, I believe is the pattern designer. The yarn I am using is Stylecraft yarn. This is in silver, this is in aspen. They go really nicely together, but when you put them together, it does make the grey or the silver look quite pink, which is weird. Colour theory, ladies and gentlemen, colour theory. And I will cover up the word, so, because I've already probably told everyone the timestamp. But my colour work is quite uneven on the front. Once again, it's the long floats and then just doing one grey stitch. I'm just not very good at it. And I don't have mitten blockers, so I'm not quite sure how this will block out, because also it's 100% acrylic yarn, which I thought would be easier for people to care for. But a little concerned because I do have short fingers, I do have small hands, but I think these might be a little large, but that's okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to. Anyway, they're a little large, but my friend can always wear just a thin pair of gloves underneath them or something for extra coziness if necessary. The pattern does suggest you knit these on 9-inch circular needles, and I've never knit with well, that's not true. I've knit maybe a couple of stitches on 9-inch circular needles, but I've never given them a good enough bash to properly knit with them. So I'm just doing magic loop, which isn't an issue. I've just started decreasing for, you know, getting the top the right shape. It's a 1x1 rib where you alternate colours, so every purl stitch is in grey and every knit stitch is in the green. I did a German twisted cast on as well, and yeah, really enjoying this knit. It's really satisfying. I've been spending a fair few evenings sat there with my pattern laid out, because I have an envelope on top of it so I can move to keep track of what row I'm on. I've been watching Gilmore Girls again, because it makes me feel quite autumnal, does Gilmore Girls, and that's kind of what I wanted. And yeah, really enjoy this pattern. I'm using 2.75mm higher sharps, and the cord I'm using is my 32 to 34 inch cord, I believe. I think it's just my 32 inch cord, I think, if I don't really understand it. So yeah, it's not the most even of colour work. The back looks good, this bit round here looks good, but it's once again, the long floats. I can't seem to keep my tension right across the back of the floats. I think I'm improving as I go up, but that also means that, I don't know. But the first few stitches are quite uneven. But hopefully she'll like them enough to not complain too much about them, and we'll just see them for what they are. A fantastic, lovely, homemade gift. While we're on the subject of gift knitting, you know I love me a segue. Ooh, jingle spoilers. You know I love me a segue. Mario's been complaining that I haven't been knitting him enough socks. It's true, I haven't been knitting him enough socks. So when I went to Bakewell Wool Gathering, I bought this yarn for him to make him socks. It is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, 75% wool, 25% nylon. Apparently it contains 35% Blueface Leicester within. I don't know if it's 35% Blueface Leicester within that 75% or within just the ball in general. Wow, that was a really loud vehicle that just went past. So it is in this colourway. I'm sure it probably has a name, but I don't know what the name is. And at the moment it is a wee moustache of a sock, because I only cast it on 2 days ago, and this is once again my tram knitting, which I might have to stop. I might have to have it as my general knitting as well, otherwise I'll never get them done. But yeah, just a wee cuff right now. but it's quite cute. I cast on 72 stitches for Mario socks on my 2.5mm needles. German twisted cast on once again. He's the reason I learned German twisted cast on, because I did a normal cast on for his first pair and he said that it wasn't quite stretchy enough. He always felt like they were going to break, which they're not, but that's fine. I'm just doing a 2x2 rib. I will probably do about 15 rows of 2x2 rib, or until I'm very fed up with it. And then I have this tiny ball, I say tiny, it's 20 grams, which was sent to me by a lovely subscriber that I thought, and viewer of the podcast obviously, and I thought that they go quite nicely together. So contrasting heels and toes will be in this yarn. And I usually do a heel flap and gusset for his socks, but I don't know whether to try out the new depth heel on him instead, because he doesn't have a particularly high arch on his foot, and that's the reason I do it, because I have a really high arch. Or if I should stick to a heel flap and gusset, because I know he likes it, but I hate picking up those stitches after doing it. I hate it so much. Ugh. Maybe I'm being a bit over dramatic. I am being a bit over dramatic, definitely, but still. Anyway, yes, not much to say. It is a nice yarn. It's my first time knitting with West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply. It just feels like quite a toothy yarn in comparison to, say, this, which is merino and nylon. This is a bit more sturdy feeling, which is good because I don't knit that many pairs of socks for Mario. I'd say it's a bit softer than a Regia yarn, but yeah, still nice. And I do enjoy West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. I wish that they would do, like, getting comfy, always sit on the floor to do podcasts and then get uncomfortable. It's so much easier when you have to sit at a chair on the table, sit at the table on a chair. I wish they did minis, like mini balls of yarn. Regia do, or at least when I used to go into Karstadt in Germany, you could get sort of 25 gram balls of like Regia yarn that was probably designed for babies but went with some of their yarn, because they do have contrasting colours that would go with these, but the problem is they're 100 gram balls. Even if it was a 50 gram ball, I'd be more inclined to buy it, but I don't really want to buy 100 grams of this green because I don't think I'll ever use it again unless I knit another pair of socks using the rest of this yarn that's left over. But maybe that's just me. But it would be nice if they did offer smaller balls of yarn for the contrast colours for people like me who don't want to have to spend a fortune buying a 100 gram ball of something that they're not going to use. Okay, let's keep the toes wiggling, Hannah. Keep the toes wiggling. And then I did a selfish cast on because there's only so much gift knitting I can do in my life, and the colour work is very much for concentrating. Mario's out for the evening. This road is so noisy. The colour work mittens are very much for concentrating when Mario's at work all evening, just like zone in. TV's playing, vaguely paying attention, but not watching it, looking at the pattern. The socks are really good for kind of commuting to and from work. Oh, I'm social knitting, I'm in a pub. And when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, oh, let me knit. And then I just needed something for myself, for when I just needed to chill out and relax. So I cast something on. I cast on the Halfmoon Oracle Shawl by the lovely Kristen of Vullenvine and the Yarngasm podcast. Now, she came out with the full pie version first, and I did love it, but I was hesitant to cast it on because I didn't think that I didn't think that I would wear it, sorry, is what I wanted to say. My mind started to think about anything else. And bless her, when she gifted me the Halfmoon pattern, I just knew I had to go and stash dive. I knew I had to go and stash dive. So what did I do? I dove into, not really actually physically, because that would be painful. There's like a, but yes, into my stash. And this is how far I am. I forgot how sociable brioche could be. I knit this when we were at the Nottingham Yarn Expo, when I was sat chatting to the lovely Nessa of Kilter Craft, who is such a lovely person. But yeah, and I was also knitting this during Dungeons and Dragons, but just the brioche part. But I think I'm approaching more lace, so then I'll have to take a break and do some concentrating, because I just kept making mistakes on the lace, which was just my own silly fault. No fault of the pattern at all. I just kept forgetting yarn overs, or putting too many in. So yes, Halfmoon Oracle Shawl. I'm using 4mm needles. It's got a lovely I-cord edging. It's the ultimate combo of lace and brioche, which I enjoy. So this is Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn, which is 90% merino, 10% nylon. It's in the colour Goosebumps, which leads me to believe that it was probably a Halloween colour at some point. But I bought this from a D-stash from the lovely Tracy of Nora George, because I really liked it, and it was going to go into my hoodie shawl cardigan, and then I never made it because I decided I probably wouldn't wear it. Then I have this skein, which is Truly Hooked in her standard sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon in charcoal. And then I have this lovely skein, which is by Potion Yarns, and she was lovely enough to send this to me recently when she donated a prize for the knit along that I recently did, or hosted, co-hosted. And it's this beautiful colour, and it's 75% superwash merino. No, it's 80-10-10, I think. I'll double check. I always keep the little tags in. 80-10-10. 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And it's in the colourway Panties in a Twist, which I find a really funny phrase, because we say knickers in a twist, which sounds a lot less rude. But I asked on Instagram what colours I should put together, and people voted these. So it's very similar colours to my Exploration Station, but I'm really alright with it. The lovely Kristen has so generously offered a copy of this pattern for one of you lovely people to win for yourself. And she is also currently hosting a knit along for this shawl in her Vullenvine Ravelry group. So if you'd like to be in with a chance of winning a copy of this pattern, I'll give you a week to do it, and there will be a thread in the Crafty Chat Ravelry group with a prompt for you to answer. Oh, excuse me, just chugged my tea. With a prompt for you to answer, and then you can knit along with me. Yeah, it's a really lovely pattern. I'm really enjoying knitting it. Like, I had to physically stop myself from knitting it too much, which is why I've been casting on other things, because all I want to do is sit and knit this. But I want to enjoy it and take my time with it, because I'm really good at knitting things and just obsessively knitting them, and then all of a sudden they're done and then I can't knit them anymore. The pattern itself is just a really beautiful pattern, as in just like the written pattern is just really pretty. Really enjoy it. Good pattern. Saying all the good things. That is living in my Fringefield Supply bag with my swag that I got going on. A fair amount of the swag happening. I've got this one which I made. I've got my Hufflepuff knitter badge on. I've got this one which says Bohemian Capsody, which is amazing, because if you know me at all, you know that I love Queen to an excessive amount. I really need to like find some Queen fabric and make a Queen project, or find someone who can make me a Queen project bag, because that'll be the best thing ever. I've got Cat Unicorn here, La Bien Aimée, Nutella, Equality, that was from Becky. I've got my bananas going, and then I got Fueled by Tea pin just here, and then I have a little Pikachu on there too, which was by Claire of the Beautiful Things podcast. Yeah, really enjoying using this bag again. I feel like it's too big to use it just for socks, so I've been holding out, but now I can use it because I'm making a shawl again, finally, and it's like the perfect size to house everything in. But yeah, those are all my whips at the moment. I'm really loving all of them for all the different reasons. I want to knit all the colour work. I'm going to cast on a Sunset Highway sweater at some point soon, after watching Kristen's podcast and seeing hers and how it's going. I really love it. Mine will just be 2 colours though. which I understand is a bit weird because I think it's a 4-colour pattern, but I'll make it work, hopefully. Just trying to limit the amount of yarn that I'm buying. Cool. Speaking of buying lots of yarn, let's talk about stash fattening, shall we? So I showed you last week a skein of yarn that I got from the lovely Meg of the Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast, because we are doing, or we have at the moment, a collaboration going on with Chelsea of Danyan MN, and so I've made a stitch marker for it. Meg's dyed the yarn and Chelsea's made some lovely project bags, and now they're up on Chelsea's website. I'm going to show you what you could buy, although I don't have a stitch marker with me, so that's my bad. I left it somewhere else. But you get a beautiful skein of this. This is Meg's yarn. Ooh. This is her colourway Sugar Plum, and this is her matte sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's so soft and so like squishy. It's lovely. And you also get one of Chelsea's project bags, and it's really fun because it's got a little window in it, so you can see what your what yarn is in it, what project you have in it, which can sometimes be a problem if you have multiple projects on the go in multiple bags. I'm quite lucky in that I limit the amount of projects that I do, but I can see why this would be super useful. It's got a really nice wrist strap, so you can wear it on your wrist so you can walk along and knit. And you have 2 choices of fabric for the back. So the skein itself is in blue and pink, because you can either have this fun fabric on the back, or you could have a pink and red equivalent. So it's the same pattern, but instead of blue and green, it's pink and red instead, and it's really nice. And then the stitch marker you can get is one of my snowflake stitch markers, which were very popular in my last update, so thank you very much. Snowflake stitch marker with pink in the middle, and then blue outside, and it's really nice. Now I've shown you this colour, which this is a giveaway skein that I will be saving for a giveaway that I'm hoping to do near Christmas, as just like a little Christmas thank you, because I haven't done a lot of giveaways on my channel. This is the skein that Meg sent for me, because she knows I love a bit of glitz and sparkle. So this is her sparkle sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 10% nylon 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and it's so beautiful and sparkly, and it's the same colour. And that, I think I'm going to put that and the tonks that I showed you last week, I'm going to put them together. I really like them. But there are still a few kits left, not many, so be sure to grab yours while you can. Yeah. They are not sold in my Etsy shop, I forgot to say. They are sold in Chelsea's shop, which is danyanmn.etsy.com. That took me far too long to say. The other stash enhancements I have in the yarn field are, you've already seen if you watched my Nottingham Yarn Expo vlog, but I understand not everyone enjoys vlogs, and that is not a problem at all. I get it, I get it. So I will just give you a quick rundown of what I purchased. Nottingham Yarn Expo was last weekend, and I went and I had a really, really good time, and it was really, really fun, and I met some really lovely people, and thank you to everyone who came up and said hi. That was amazing. It was at the Nottingham Trent University buildings, John Arkwright building, if you know it at all, which has a huge atrium and it had like a glass ceiling in it, and it was really light and airy and lots of space to move around, and it was lovely. It was huge. I was not expecting it to be as large as it was, but good to know. Maybe I will start thinking about possibly in the future sharing a table with someone and maybe selling stitch markers or something. No promises, no promises. But I had a few people ask me if I would consider having a stall at some point in the future, and you know what? I might do. I might do. So, the first skein that I purchased after walking around for 2 hours and not buying anything, which is my favourite thing to do at yarn festivals, is get overwhelmed by everything and not buy anything, which I think is quite good, because some people just buy everything all at once. But I'd had a good wander around and a good hunt, and then I only bought from the people that, you know, that, you know, I wanted to buy from. I had a budget, I went a little bit over it, but I'm okay with it. So I bought this lovely skein of yarn, which is by Stranded. Ooh, there we go. Stranded Dye Works. The lovely Amy. This is her Oasis base, which is 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. This is in her colourway Vintage Christmas. Yep, it's just this lovely mint green colour, and then it's got some fantastic speckles going on. I'm thinking that, I was initially thinking that this might be my Christmas Eve cast on, but maybe I'll cast it on before Christmas. Maybe it'll be my Advent cast on, who knows. I really want to make the speckled space socks. I've never knit toe up socks before, so I don't know if I'd do them toe up or cuff down. But I think this would be really nice as speckled space socks. Which is why I'm thinking I won't do them as my Christmas Eve cast on, because on Christmas Day I could just do some mindless knitting. Like just normal knitting as opposed to having to concentrate on the pattern. But we'll see how my Christmas knitting goes. Then after hanging out with Tracy of Nora George for a little bit, I purchased a skein from her, which also happens to be a Christmas colourway, but was not intentional. And this is her Eggnog colourway on her Super Sock, which is also 75/25 superwash merino and nylon. And there's the logo, Nora George Yarns. And it's pretty true to colour, I suppose. It's got beautiful purples and mauves going on. And I think I need to find a skein to put with this at some point in the future. But I really was attracted to it and thought it was a really lovely colour. And a little bit out of my comfort zone as to what kind of colours that I would buy, because I'm very much about purples and greys. Whereas this is a bit of a warmer skein, so I got this instead of all of the other ones that I wanted to buy. But I will have to stop by her shop and get some more at some point. Now both of these bases are incredibly soft and I really like them. I like them, yeah, approved. Then I stopped by Beth of Beehive yarns. I did know that. I love her yarns. I have loved her yarns for ages, but I just, you know, sometimes you just want to see yarn in person before you make the leap and buy it, and it lives up to expectation. Now this is double knit. That was very good. I bought some DK yarn. It wasn't just all 4-ply. And it's 100% superwash merino, and this is in her Sandpiper colourway. And then I bought a little mini to go with it, which I've slid in here to keep them together so I don't lose them in my stash. And this is her Dolly base. I forgot to say the name of the base. And this is Treacle Tart, because I think it goes beautifully with it. But this is going to be a pom-pom for this hat. But once again, warmer colours, which I quite like. Love her stuff. I know I say it a lot, I really love neutral colour or very light colour skeins with speckles. I really enjoy it. I think it looks beautiful. I'm not very good at dyeing it back myself though, so my bad. Then the final skein I bought is in a bag, so sorry. We got some crinkles. This is by Down Sheepy Lane, and it's a self-striping sock yarn, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 100 grams, and it comes with a 20-gram mini. And this is in Peppermint Party. I didn't intend for a lot of the colourways to be Christmassy, but they kind of are. Let's get some of this glare off. But I would never put this colour with this, but I think it looks fantastic. So maybe this could be my Christmas Eve cast on instead. But I just really enjoy these, and I saw the sock and knew that I really wanted it, because the light colour, I don't know if you could see, the light colour in the self-striping has speckles on it, which I think is a nice touch. And I have never knit from a gumball, I believe is what they're called in the biz. I've never knit from one of these, and I've never knit hand-dyed self-striping yarn, so it's about time I did, and I love it, and it's safe. The final stash fattening that I've been doing, I've been participating in a little bit of Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, which I really enjoyed last year, so thought I would participate again this year. I've been granting some wishes and I've had one of my own granted, and it's for a Christmas project bag, perfect for my Christmas Eve cast on. It's beautiful. I can't get over how beautiful it is, because you know, sometimes, you know, I didn't see it before she sent it to me. It was sent by the lovely Louise, so thank you very much. And I'm always worried that, you know, maybe I won't like it or whatnot, but as it happens, I love it. I think it looks fantastic. I'm just finding her Ravelry username. It's LV and Boo. I messaged her to ask if she sells these at all, and she hasn't got back to me yet. But if it turns out that she does, I will write it in the podcast notes and probably talk about it in the future. But she's added this little here with some bells on for a bit of seasonal jingle, and it's beautiful fabric. I love this so much, and it's all starry inside as well. And she popped a vanilla chai tea bag in, because I am a fan of a vanilla chai. And she also popped a mini skein of West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply in Cayenne, which is a really nice spicy orangey red colour. It's coming up a lot more vibrant on camera than it is in real life, but it could also be because it's getting dark. Getting dark, and it's only 20 to 3. Oh no, oh no. So, I have an Etsy update today, but my update's at 4. And this will probably go up after 4, but there's probably some stuff left because I don't sell out instantly. Not that big of a hot shot yet. So I'll just show you what will be going in the shop today, and if it's not there, you know why, and you'll have to look out for it in future updates. But it was dark by the time I got back from work yesterday, which was really sad, so I couldn't film a podcast. So first off, we have some peppermints. About time to crack out some Christmas things. For those who don't know, I have an Etsy shop, which is thecornerofcraft.etsy.com. Link can be found in the description box below. I make little beaded stitch markers, and it's fun, and I enjoy it. Last update, 2 weeks ago, these mittens sold out so quickly, so I've made some more of those. There's some more of those to go in the shop, but I also made some different colours. So I've got these purple and white ones, which are very sparkly, and love them. Love them. I'm trying to, I should put these in organised piles. Every time I podcast I think this, oh, I'm going to miss showing something. Then I also made these black and turquoise ones, which is, I think, telling me that I need to make myself some black and turquoise colourwork mittens, because I love that combo. So I'm going to have to actually make myself some black and turquoise mittens at some point. After seeing all of the Jameson Spindrift that Kristen of Villanvine was showing on her podcast, I kind of want to go and buy all of the Jameson Spindrift and knit it, but I don't think that will happen. Because Christmas knits. Every year I say I'm not going to do it. Every year. But this year. This is the first year I've said I'm not going to do it. Then we also have these little Father Christmases, or gnomes, depending how you look at it. But to me they're definitely Father Christmases. And he has a very gold shiny belt buckle. And that is using a 24 karat gold plated bead. A little bit of luxury to your stitch marker. But my goodness, he is so cute and small. I love him. I love him. And for those who don't know, these findings that I use can also be doubled as earrings. So if you did want to have earrings, just buy a couple and tell me that you want them as earrings, and I will make sure that they hang the right way for you. So yeah, we got the Father Christmases. Check, check. Got done those mittens. Check, check, check. Then we have these very cute baby penguins. They are so stinking cute. I'm gonna have to make an extra one for myself and keep it. baby penguins are the cutest things in the world. So stinking adorable. So cute. And then we've got quite a few stars and snowflakes. So once again, these sold out super quickly last week, so I've whipped up some more of those. And then I also made some lovely pink ones, which are also really nice. A much paler pink than they're coming out on camera. But yes, I like them. They are pretty. And then we have some stars. So this is the largest star, and it's in this gorgeous shiny silver. I love this. And they're pretty light. I like it. Well, they are light. Not pretty light, they are light. And then we have the smaller snowflakes. So we have this, no, stars, smaller stars. So we have this black one. And then we have this dark blue one, which is a dark blue sparkly one, which I also love, because I love this bead colour so much. It's like a dark blue teal colour. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, they will all be in my shop at 4 PM today. Although this podcast will probably go up later than that. Be sure to check out the shop, because no doubt there's still some left. And yeah. Oh, exciting! Thank you so much for watching this podcast. I really enjoyed it. It's put me in a much better mood. I knew it would. Sorry I started out on such a negative note. I knew it made me feel so much better. But yeah, let's quickly talk about life, because I just realised I haven't talked about it much. So, life has been happening as usual. I've settled very much into my job now. I actually drink coffee now, so that's a change that's occurred. What else has happened? I went to the Nottingham Yarn Expo, as I've said. I had a really great time. It was fantastic. I was so tired the next day. I was coming down with a cold, just felt gross. So I didn't go the second day, I only went the first day, and I kind of do regret it. But at the same time, I stayed home and dyed myself some yarn for a jumper I want to knit for myself, which I've left downstairs. I was thinking to bring that up and show it on the podcast, but maybe I'll show it, or I will show it when I start actually knitting the jumper. So yeah, that was fun. What else has been happening? Not too much. We've played a couple of games in Dungeons and Dragons, so that's been fun. I've been really enjoying that. And I have plans to go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I do intend to go. I've had a few people message me and ask me if I intend to go, and I do. I am really excited about going again and meeting / seeing some of my internet friends, pocket friends, again after not seeing them for a while, and really excited to do all of the knitty things. I just need to look into find somewhere to stay, because I can't buy, I could look into flights, but I kind of want to get the train because it's much more picturesque. Get to go across the Harry Potter bridge that the Hogwarts Express goes across, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I do intend to go to EYF, and I need to knit through my stash and not buy any more yarn before then, and then I can buy all the yarn. That's how that works, right? Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, even though I've been in a bit of a different place and it's still been noisy and whatnot, and even thanks for sticking with me, because I was a bit grumpy in the beginning, but I've defo perked up now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that thumbs up below this video. It really means a lot to me. It not only lets me know that you enjoy the video, but it helps to get my video out there into the world, which is great, because I do actually make money off these videos and the adverts that are played before and after, and sometimes during these. So thank you so much for sticking with me and stuff. If you did happen to enjoy the video and you've already clicked the thumbs up button, winner, feel free to subscribe. I try to post as frequently as possible, so feel free to subscribe, and that way any new videos will pop up in your subscription feed on the YouTube main page, homepage, and you'll be able to find them with ease. Don't forget to enter the giveaway to win yourself a copy of the Halfmoon Oracle Shawl. It's a really enjoyable, fun knit. Really enjoy it. And yeah, I think that's everything. Feel free to follow me on social media if you haven't already. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.